Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. I thought I would start with showing you my layout for May since we are now in a new month. I don't do sort of setup videos for every month because I don't think my decorating is that interesting and it could not warrant a video if I tried. I use a bunch of stickers. I don't have the sheet, well, I mean, I have the sheet near me, but I piled some things on top of it and it'll make a whole bunch of noise to get it. So we'll just ignore the sheet for now. But I went with, I don't know, little cutesy ones. So I have my rent in there. My visa was due on the 1st, so I made a payment for it last paycheck of April. I've got 3 paydays this month, which thank you. I'm so glad for that. My SUV payments are there. They're always the Tuesday after every payday. My cell phone, which is not actually due, I put $60 on it every paycheck, but that's technically when it would be due if I owed on it. My Neo bill is there and it's higher than normal, which I will explain, and my line of credit is due there, and that is everything for my calendar. So you see there's really not all that much in it. I entered it over here, entered it over here. My paycheck was $1,510.34. So that is kind of everything we need to know to get started, I think. So just make sure you're in frame and let's get started. So this budgeting video is for the May 3rd, 2024 paycheck. It is currently May the 6th, so I'm a little bit late. I had a bunch of obligations on the weekend, so the time of the weekend where I normally would have sat down to do my budget, I wasn't home, and I thought I would do it on the Sunday, but I kind of did too much on the weekend. I'm still dealing with my concussion, and so I spent a good portion of Sunday non-functioning. It's not great. So the balance that I'm starting out with is $1,690.09. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take out $650 for half of rent. Now, normally I would, because I have 3 paychecks this time, I would have, instead of taking out half every paycheck for this month only, I would have taken out 1/3 of my rent every paycheck to free up a little bit more money for other things. But I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks in June, and I only just recently became permanent and started accruing vacation hours, so I'm not going to have enough paid vacation days to cover my entire 2 weeks away from work. So I am trying very hard to get an entire month's rent saved up like ahead, so that when I'm back in June and then I'm paying my rent in July, like I definitely have it. I'm not, struggling to try to find it because I have a paycheck where I couldn't put a full $650 towards it. So I want to be ahead of the game. It does mean I'm struggling more now though. So this leaves me with $1,040.09. The next thing is minus $266 and that's supposed to be 72 cents. That is my SUV payment. It goes out automatically tomorrow, actually. So that's not right. Okay, $10.40.09 minus $266. There we go. $773.37. $60 on the cell. It's because my cell phone bill is so big that I don't like having to pay it all from one paycheck, and I find that if I just automatically put $60 on it every paycheck, then I'm always a little bit ahead of the game. It works out well for me. Then my line of credit payment is $322.87, which is leaving me with $390.50. Now my Neo card, I have a Neo credit card, and it actually has a balance on there right now of $167.74, which is way more than what I usually have. on there. I'm actually, from this account, I'm only making a payment of $46.69 because on behalf of the Dragon Boat team that I'm a member of, I purchased like a 5-liter, I think it was, coffee. We were doing a fundraising thing and I was returning the empty coffee. It's like this big green jug. It's massive. I think it's 5 liters. I was returning it and had to place an order for a new one to be picked up the next day. So I had to pay for it, and I'll get reimbursed from the team, but I haven't been reimbursed yet. So that was $120.75. And I put it onto the Neo card because I so rarely, like my Neo card, I really use it for things that are like an automatic payment, either like a monthly small bill, like say like my Netflix or my Disney Plus, or I'm trying to move over all of my recurring yearly bills over to this card so that they don't get kind of lost in the larger debt that's on my Visa, and I just see them more easily when they get charged, again, because they're not lost in like a series of charges onto that's on the other credit card. So I put it there so I sort of more easily see it, and also when I made the payment from when the team reimburses me, it's just completely paid off. It's not kind of going towards the interest from other debt that's on the card. Does that make sense? So like I said, I haven't been reimbursed from the team yet, but I have a Dragon Boating sinking fund, and while the money in there isn't designed for something like paying off a coffee thing, I'm going to use it to put onto the card and then pay it off, and then when I get reimbursed, I'll just put that right back into the sinking fund for Dragon Boating. So yeah, a long explanation for the breakdown of the Neo amount. So now I'm sitting at a balance of $343.81. I have sitting in the account $109.39 for Striker. That's my cat. He has a cash envelope that all of his purchases come out of, and I have it partly in cash and also partly digital because, well, actually a perfect example was during this pay period, I did an Instacart order, and since I was doing it anyways, I bought some litter because it's always nice to have somebody else carry the heavy stuff. And then I also, Striker only drinks bottled water, which makes him sound much more of a snowflake than he is. For whatever reason, tap water makes him very sick. And I switched him from tap water to bottled water, just trying to figure out what it was that was making him sick. And it was such a fast turnaround from, throwing up 5 times a day to being absolutely fine that I'm not willing to take him off bottled water just to see if whatever was causing him a problem is gone and it's not really the water. His health isn't worth that to me. So I buy him bottled water. So I had a Safeway grocery shopping trip and I bought some bottled water for him at the same time. And I was doing that trip directly after I was doing something and I was out. I can't think of what it was right now. But I didn't have his cash envelope with me. So I paid with my debit card, and some of the money from that, well, some of the money that I keep in the digital account went towards like the cost of the water because I just moved it. I'm sorry, I've been doing a lot of math with a lot of very loud background noises, and it does absolutely nothing good for my confusion of my concussed brain. I'm not explaining this well. Just trust me. He has a sinking fund, and some of the money is digital that is kept in my checking account so that if I purchase something in a digital fashion, I have it digitally to pay with, and then some of it is in cash because most of his purchases I do in person in stores that will still accept cash. Why couldn't I just say that the first go around? I don't know. So 300, is that, I don't trust my math. $343.81 minus $109.39, $234.42, and then I need $186 for my sinking funds. $48.42, and let me get another colored pen because this is about to go bad. Negative 200, or not negative, but minus $241.17 for the cash envelopes. which is putting me at a negative balance of $192.75. I know I usually do it in red, but I have pink today. So I'm in the hole, $192.75. Those of you who've been following my videos at all, you know that my mom's helping me out right now while I'm on modified work weeks because of my concussion and not earning my full wages. So whatever amount I'm under, I just let her know, and she helps me out to cover the difference. That's actually why I'm not making a Visa payment here. So I did a Visa payment last paycheck, which worked because the Visa was due on May the 1st, but I'm alternating. So usually every paycheck I pay the line of credit and I pay the Visa, but I feel really bad borrowing money from my mom. And she says it's not borrowing because she doesn't want me to pay it back, but I want to pay it back. And I'm not comfortable with how much money I'm having to ask for her all the time. So I've gone to like an alternating. So 1 week I pay the line of credit, 1 week I pay the Visa card. If I'm able to, I'll say I'll pay the Visa and then put a bit towards the line of credit because my Visa payment is lower than my line of credit. So I'll put a payment onto that, and then since I'm not spending this amount on the Visa, I'll put something onto the line of credit. Yeah, it's not ideal because usually I pay the minimum payment for the line of credit on every paycheck, therefore paying it off faster. But it doesn't seem right to keep doing that when really it's then my mother paying it off, right? So yeah, so I'm going to be asking her for $200. I always round it up a little bit so that I'm not like right at a zero balance, just in case I've missed something or I've done something wrong, which happens quite often, more than I would like. A person with a concussed brain should not be in charge of math and figuring out their own budget. I'm just going to say it because I have made some monumental mistakes this last pay period, and I honestly cannot figure them out. It's with the cash envelopes that I have. It just is a whole separate video, and it's really just going to be a video of me being like, I don't know what I did, I don't know what happened, I don't know what's wrong, and I still haven't figured it out, and I've sort of given up trying to figure it out because I'm just so confused. So confused. So let me show you now the breakdown that I have for the cash envelopes. So Striker gets an envelope, work, parking, groceries, which isn't just food, it's also household items. So like when I need to buy like shampoo, conditioner, cleaning products, basically anything you might buy from like a Walmart. Takeout, miscellaneous, fun, physio, and transpo. So Striker, every paycheck he gets $32.50. I've broken it up this time. Oh, I don't have this sheet. Oh, I do have the sheet in front of me. Well, kind of in front of me. Usually, so before his money was all digital, so it stayed in the checking account, but then I turned some of it into cash. So then I realized I'm going to have to make the decision every paycheck. Am I pulling out the $32.50 in cash or part of the $32.50 in cash? Like, what am I going to do? But I actually pulled $8 in cash out of the work parking envelope because I had to go in for a half day into the office. And so I decided, since I was gonna have to deposit that into the bank anyways, I'm just depositing it into Striker. So $8 of this $32.50 is going to be cash, and $24.80 of it is going to be digital. I have it broken down again, like with the cash envelope information, but just in case you were wondering how I divvied it up this time. Work parking, I'm not adding anything to it right now. I still have $40 sitting in that account or in that envelope, and I've been put back to fully working from home because that half day that I went into the office was an utter disaster for my concussion, and it's actually kind of the cause of a lot of problems that I had this past week in terms of money, because it tanked a big portion of the week. It was pretty bad. Groceries is $56.67. That's because I budget $120 per pay period, so roughly $60 each week, but I already did my grocery shopping and spent $63.33 for this week that I'm currently in, so this is the remainder from that 120. Takeout, I give nothing, even though I have eaten a lot of takeout in the last 2 weeks. If you watch my What I Eat in a Day videos, you will have seen that. That is not the norm, and I'm not continuing with that. Miscellaneous, 25. Fun, 60. I only give that one so much because I go out usually for brunch with a friend every weekend. It's one of my few, really my only guaranteed social activity, because it's something that like my concussion can handle most of the time, not all of the time. Sometimes it's really hard, but I don't really do much else. So I budget to be able to go for brunch with a friend, because you have to have some fun in there. 42 for the physio. I can't control that. One of my appointments every week is a massage therapy for the neck injury that I have from the car accident that gave me the concussion. And even though my insurance covers like the majority of the appointment, I had to pay $21 each time as like an office fee. I'm not completely certain what the office fee is for. I think they told me at the very beginning, but I have a horrible memory right now and I don't remember. So I just budget $42. I don't actually have the massage therapy every single week because she gets filled in, like booked up really quickly. So sometimes they end up missing a week, which is fine. I mean, not for my neck, but it's fine for my budget. And then transpo, which used to be gas, but I've expanded the term out because I'm also using it to cover like if I have to pay for parking somewhere. Or like last time, I put more money in it than normal because I knew I had a doctor's appointment coming up that I wasn't going to be able to drive home from, so I had to get an Uber there and back, so I wanted enough money to cover that. Okay, and then my sinking funds. So I have my SUV insurance, tenant insurance, my emergency fund, tech, dragon boat, presents, and travel. So my SUV insurance is calculated out $67 per paycheck. And that will theoretically give me enough money by the time I pay my insurance yearly to pay the insurance. Same with my tenant insurance, $14 per paycheck. Emergency fund, I put 40. Tech is 15. This covers my Microsoft 365, my Norton antivirus, and the WordPress account membership. For when they're due, it's $5 for each one of those. Dragon boating, I wouldn't put money in this one, except it's dragon boating season, so there are expenses that come with that. Presents, I'm so sorry to everybody that I love, but I'm not putting anything in that one right now. And travel is getting 40, and again I'm putting 40 in there because I am traveling in June and then a long weekend in July, so I'm going to need money to pull from. Okay, so we will tally those up. So 67 plus 14 plus 40 plus 15 plus 10 plus 40 is 186, so that's right there. $32.50, 56, 67, 25, 60, 42, 25, $241.17. So that is the budget. It doesn't balance, as I've already explained why, which makes it seem like a flawed or broken budget. I am aware. But yeah, I'm just very grateful to the help that I'm getting from my mom right now. So she's really the only reason that I'm staying afloat. I have an offer from the bank to do some sort of finagling with things that I think I'm going to take them up on. I just need to send them an email about that. So then that'll get all the balance from my Visa moved over to my line of credit. And then I'll just have one larger payment, admittedly much larger than the $322.87, but still smaller than the combined line of credit and Visa payment. So then I'll just be able to put any and all money that I'm able to onto that line of credit. Yeah, I'm waiting for my tax refund. I did my taxes super late, so it's nobody's fault but mine that it hasn't come yet. But yeah, I am waiting for my tax refund. Normally I would put it immediately towards debt, but I actually talked to my mom about it, and she suggested that when I get it, put it into an account safe where I won't touch it, and then wait until I'm back from the trip. And then I think, see, now I've already forgotten what she suggested, but it was a really good idea. Because I think I was saying normally I would put it onto debt, but I know that I'm going to be coming back from vacation and potentially having trouble covering bills for like the first pay period back. Oh, that's what it was. I was thinking I should save it to use to go towards expenses when I get back from my trip, so that I'm not going into debt more after the trip to be able to like buy groceries and things, because I have like the safety net saved up and ready to spend on living expenses because my paycheck will be so small. Does that make sense? That's what I was thinking, but it felt weird because, you know, everything says that if you have debt and you're getting a tax refund, put it towards your debt. So she suggested waiting until I'm back and then seeing what the finances are like, and then maybe putting, I can't remember how she divided it, but she was like, you know, put this amount towards debt and then put this amount towards like living expenses that you need like once you're back into like the swing of things after the vacation. Either way, I think that she's right. I think I'm just going to, whenever it arrives, put it into a high interest savings account, leave it there tucked away safe, and then when I get back from the trip in June, I will figure out the best way to use it then. I really want to put it onto debt right now, which is the whole point of that ramble, was to say that like I want to put it onto debt. I hate having this much debt, but we are at where we are at. And for the next little bit, I'm allowed to work full-time hours from home, which will be nice. I'll finally have a full paycheck. I'm not sure how long it's going to last though, because in a couple weeks we're going to potentially try again to get me working into the office if they can find a space that fits all of like the requirements that the medical doctors and stuff have said that is needed for my concussion. But if they do, then it goes back to becoming a gradual return to work, where for 2 days out of the week I'm only working half a day in office, so I'm going to be losing a full day of pay every week for many, many weeks. And I mean, I appreciate the system and that they sort of ease you gently back into the workplace. Like, I do appreciate that. I really do, I swear. It's just my paycheck doesn't. But I guess we can have everything. And I've rambled far too long. If you have made it this far into the video, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for sticking around while I just kept talking to you. This is my budget. How is yours going? Is it better? Worse? Please not worse. I really hope yours isn't worse. I hope everybody's is doing better than mine and is also tidier. This is really messy. I am just tired. And yes, I don't know. I'm just curious how your budget's doing. If it's going all right, I hope it is. I will talk to all of you in another couple weeks with the next paycheck video, and hopefully in between there I will have other update videos happening. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the beginning of summer. Bye.